Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm dear darling. I should see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhollow today. Well, I'll be relaxing as per usual. Late episode. Not usually as per usual, but sometimes as per usual. I have a bag of like ASOS clothes. You know, did I say I ordered some? I can't remember. I bought some because there was a sale going on. So here we are. We're on Valentine's Day Eve as well. So we're just going rapid fire through the checklist of conversations today. Valentine's Eve, which I guess we'll talk about more tomorrow. Maybe I don't really have much to say about Valentine's Day, I suppose, being single and all, but still, good evening everyone. Right now in Fawnhollow, it's 10:54 PM on Tuesday, February 13th, 2024. Oh, shooting stars. Okay, so I guess it's good that we're playing this late. We can find Celeste and wish upon a star. What was I going to say? Yesterday we had a first session 0, I think with one of the D&D groups. And it was actual, kind of like the first time I actually properly got to try Foundry, I suppose, because I didn't quite have enough time. Wait, hold on, what time did I record the episode last night? Must have been quite late, probably, because I was thinking about it. I was like, I didn't really give myself enough time to actually try out this virtual tabletop, because as it turns out, what I thought was like with D&D 5e compendium, I thought it had everything in it. It does not have everything. It only is one class of each type and one subclass of each type, and it only has the base races and only one sub race of each one. And I was like, oh no. So despite the fact I wanted, of course, my friends to build their sheets, I suppose, in this new virtual tabletop, and I would take care of things for them, I still had to basically get them to do it manually afterwards, because I was just like, I did not know about not everything was in there, and then I added them in afterwards. I will say, you know, adding them in, like, I see now why people say Foundry has such a steep learning curve, because it basically is a million sort of buttons. It's almost like programming, I suppose, except for they've made it like an interface or something, which is fine, because I mean, I guess at the end of the day I am a programmer, so it's not like the most outrageous thing for me, but it was certainly a learning curve. It took me like almost an hour, I think, to add the first custom race. Like even the first feature of one of the races took me, not the first, like the third or fourth feature. It was the Asmir's like Ascension, third level Ascension feature. It took me like 30 minutes just to figure out how to like implement it, and even then I couldn't implement everything about it, which is fine, because I don't think it should do literally everything for you. Otherwise it's a little bit, not that it's such pointless, but like it's not sort of like the juice isn't worth the squeeze, as they say. So like the first one took me for, oh, you're still here, Toddler? I guess you go at 11, I didn't know that. It took me forever to do, and then the next ones took like 10 minutes maybe each. It was so much faster once I was like, oh, I understand how things work now, you know, classes, everything is basically just an item. With all these different dependencies of items, and these are the formulas you use, and these are what each of the checkboxes mean. I will say, I don't know if anyone else uses the D&D 5e compendium, but I feel like the Bronze Dragon Lightning Breath uses the wrong saving throw type. So just like a weird observation I had. Where I was looking at it and I was like, why is it rolling Constitution when it says it should be Dexterity, and then it's got like the ability score is Dexterity, but I said that doesn't make sense. How do you have like an ability modifier on a saving throw? And I got very confused. But that just seems like it was a mistake in the thing, so whatever. I don't think any of my friends are playing a Dragonborn, and nor would that matter really all that much. So yeah, once I got all the custom, not custom, but like their races and classes put in, when it came to an actual time to actually assemble the character sheet, I was like, wow, it actually takes like 2 minutes. It's so unbelievably quick. You just literally drag what you need and drop it onto your sheet and it's done. And I was like, okay, I see, because there was a time, you know, when I was doing that session 0, I was like, I wonder if this purchasing of Foundry was not such a good idea. Like, I know it has so much functionality, but I was like, this is such a pain just to make character sheets. So much so that we're not even doing so. And I was like, okay, no, you need a bit of setup, and once the setup's in, then stuff starts going. But I don't know, it's like we pseudo sort of programming-esque things, you know, like, I'm trying to think of a good example off the top of my head, but like, part of me is like, I want, you know, there's two sides of every person and two sides of what I desire out of like any program. Is like, I want something simplistic. I want it to be pick up and play. I want it to be like, I can use it just as, and it will just know what I'm doing sort of psychically through like, I don't know, guesstimations of what the most common requests are for doing a particular action or something. But then another part of me is also I want fine-tuned customizability at the same time. I want it so that if I want to choose like this, like if this button press moves a window, I spent something to the left, I want to be able to adjust it so I can make it move to the right instead, or something like that, which is so arbitrary, I suppose. But I don't know. I suppose I kind of want the best of both worlds, and outside of Hannah Montana's songs, that's not something which is particularly feasible. I thought you were Celeste for a second. We should just check Celeste's normal haunt, see if she's there, because that'll probably be the easiest way to figure out if she's actually on the island or not. Apparently one of the easiest ways to see if someone, if visitor's on the island, is to go do like the radio exercises and they'll teleport there. But seems like she's not at her usual haunt, but she's probably somewhere up here in the high areas, the echelons of Fawnhollow. So I don't know. I want customizability, but I also want basic accessibility at the same time, which is like, I mean, I know it's possible, certainly. You just basically have a front-facing thing which is like easily accessible, but then you just have like a wealth of settings behind the scenes, which people can use to tinker with, which I suppose at the end of the day it's kind of like everything can kind of be like that, as long as you know how to program or use the API or understand the system well enough, which, while I'm certainly a programmer, I'm not like that amazing a programmer, so I'm good enough, I would say. But I can understand these sort of systems. So why don't it felt very obtuse, I suppose, trying to like learn this new, I'm not going to call it like a programming language, but like the pseudo sort of language, a pseudo language, I suppose, is fine, of what I needed to actually like operate using this virtual tabletop. Once I understood it, unsurprisingly, it was very smooth. It just kind of reminds me of the fact that I like learning Scratch for the first time as a kid. Well, not even as a kid, as a teenager, because for whatever reason, our school had, I think I spoke about this before, our school had IT lessons, but then like our first year of IT lessons we did in French, because they wanted for some reason to combine IT and modern foreign languages instead of, I don't know, just having more support for modern foreign languages and IT separately. I don't know. So we basically missed out my first year of IT, and then I don't even know what happened to the other years of IT, but I'm shocked basically that I learned about Scratch for the first time like in GCSE time or something. I was like, this would have been so cool for younger me to find out when I was like 12 or something. Like, I knew a decent amount of computer, like certainly more about computers than the average person, I think, of that age, but like I would have eaten Scratch up. I would have been like, this is amazing. I probably would have like made my own pseudo game on it. Maybe I would have made the next, or not even next, but the first Flappy Bird, and you know, I'd be like a billionaire. Okay, no, I'm joking, but yeah, I don't know, but we sort of like pseudo languages, it like makes sense. Like I was thinking about this as well, because Tabletop Simulator has these sort of things like macros, I suppose is perhaps a better way to put it, because I actually have used like a lot of Excel macros when I was younger. Excel was basically my programming language because it was something which felt very accessible and understandable to me, which is, I suppose, ironic to say, seeing as there's now like whole courses you can take on Excel and that sort of thing. I still have a decent proficiency in Excel. I don't remember necessarily how to do everything off the top of my head, but yeah, I could probably do like a match index statement if you wanted me. Well, formulae, if you wanted me to. I might have to like, it might be a bit of trial and error because I can't remember exact ordering and things need to refer to match index, but apart from that, I feel like Excel is actually just quite an accessible sort of, it's not even a programming language, but it just is accessible for some. It's a nice blend between, you have a lot of depth, but its interface, I suppose, is easy to use, you know. People hate on Excel, but I mean, there's certainly, you shouldn't use Excel in all cases, mind you. Like, you shouldn't use it to store large quantities of data. You shouldn't really use it for anything which is large whatsoever. If you're having like your own cake bake sale or something, like a school bake sale, and you want to like track transactions of that, oh yeah, that's perfectly fine. But you should not be storing like billions of rows, I suppose. Or you can't even store billions of rows, I think, in Excel format. Sorry, I don't know, this is a data part of me just deciding to preach it for no apparent reason. I guess Celeste is not here. I mean, we'll do the radio exercise to see if we can summon her, but seeing as Flick's here, I feel like it might just summon Flick instead. It might summon both of them, I don't actually know. But like these pseudo sort of programming-esque language things, these macros, these scripting things are particularly useful. I forgot what I was going. Yeah, oh yeah, because I was doing it with Tabletop Simulator as well, and I was having a little bit of a foray into that. If you don't know, it's basically because for one of my friend's birthdays, we made him his own like card game. Is it balanced? No, it's so horribly unbalanced, and it's been played a total about 3 times, which is probably not worth the proportional effort we put into it. But Well, I mean, it was worth it because it was like a fun time, of course. But like, if you're looking at it from a purely fiduciary is not the right word. We're not making money from it, but from like a temporarily fiduciary standpoint, it would absolutely not be worth it, I suppose, because we spent a lot of time on that sort of thing. But there's a lot of like tools I ended up using, I suppose, in the revamp of it to make it like easier. Like there was this card making tool. I can't remember what it's called, a deck builder or something, which is literally just made by some random program at the time. Is honestly insanely useful. So if you ever want to make your own card game, you should definitely use that. Nandek, that's what it's called, Nandek. And then like Tabletop Simulator itself has a load of like inbuilt macro and scripting you can sort of do. Like I actually played Root with a couple of my friends as well, and like one of the most popular like Root module expansion things or board or game layouts had like a huge amount of macros which basically just set everything up for you, and I was like, this is very nice and convenient. And I had like a little foray into it myself when I was like doing this own sort of like custom card game that we made for a friend, you know, like had a button which like reset everything, which automatically dealt out cards. I think maybe I can't remember exactly what I did. I did something like that. And it was good fun. It was good fun to learn about, I suppose. Programming is fun. It's both a very fun and frustrating activity at the same time, which I think probably most programmers would agree. Like when you do something and when it works, you feel like a genius. You're like, I'm amazing. Like I've automated this thing. I've saved myself so much time. I've made something do something. The sense of creation you get and having that sort of tangible reward and achievement, I suppose, of it performing it for you is, I don't want to say unparalleled. That's perhaps a bit too strong a word, but it's a fantastic sort of feeling. But it's also immensely frustrating at the same time, because sometimes you'll just like hit a brick wall of what you're doing and you can't figure out what's wrong, and you're just like sitting there for ages just being like, what have I done? Why isn't this working? You're blaming your computer, you're blaming yourself, you're blaming like there must be something wrong with the code, but you can't see what's wrong with the code. But I will say, you know, the sort of like euphoria you get from finally figuring out what was wrong, it's something which makes you like both smack your head, just being like, how could I be literally, oh, we don't need to do the axe thing anymore, I forgot we have a golden axe. We were gonna go make one, I suppose. The euphoria you get, I suppose, from actually figuring out what you did wrong and being like, oh, I get it now, is also kind of like not quite unparalleled, but it's also a fantastic feeling in of its own right, and should not be looked down upon, I would say. So yeah, I don't know, having these like scripty-esque macro things is very interesting. It seems like there's a lot you can actually do with Foundry VTT. There's some things I was like looking into, being like, I wonder if you can do this, and then a lot of people were like, yeah, you can do this, and I looked at it, like how you theoretically could implement it, and I was like, I don't have enough time to like figure that out right now. I'm not gonna bother doing it. If someone else wants to figure it out at some point, sure, by all means. Or if someone really desperately wants those as options, and I was meant to give a golden nuggets as well, then sure, so be it. But why? I have so many star fragments in here. My word, I had no idea how many had sort of just been slowly accruing in here. But amusingly, don't even have a whole stack of gold nuggets. That I think is the craziest part. I don't know if we can craft things while we have company around, can we? Can we craft things? Oh, we can craft things. Okay, that's fine. Let's craft tools. Okay, so what do we need? We just have an axe in our inventory, I guess is why we can do that. Okay, let's craft a shovel. Didn't take out the iron nuggets. What sort of things can we put away here? So we can put the weed away. The clumps of weed. Let's rephrase that maybe. We can put the snowflakes away. Oh, okay. Take care, Apollo. I didn't realise you left so quickly after I literally said nothing towards you whatsoever. Probably what we should do is we should take the stuff and then craft it on the bench outside so we can sell our inventory. But we do need the iron, wherever the iron is. Strike while the iron's hot. So I think we'll do that, just so we can clear our inventory. What was I saying? Yeah, but we sort of like macro things. It's interesting. Like I remember there used to be a tool I used. I can't remember what it was called. It was, I don't remember if I even used it on my phone or my computer. I think it was called like if this then that or something like that. which I don't even remember what I used it for. I just remember downloading it and using it to, who knows what I was doing with it, but I don't know if we have a snowflake reef, so maybe I won't sell it just in case. I used to, I don't know, I'm trying to think what other sort of like scripty-esque things I do. I think it was mostly just sort of like Excel. Like I remember, you know, despite the fact that, you know, I complained about the IT lessons, eventually we did actually have proper IT lessons, and one of the things we did learn about was how to do like stuff in Excel properly. And I remember one of the things we had to do was basically make like a not a transactions log. What is it called? Like a not I don't know. What is the word? What's the word for like a financial logbook? Whatever it is, but we had to make one of those things for a business of your choosing. You might be like, what business did you like invent to do? I chose Sugar Cube Corner, which you might know as a My Little Pony bakery shop, because I suppose that was in the My Little Pony era. Actually, it probably was a bit past the My Little Pony era at that point. Anyway, we had to make like a what is it called? It's actually gonna like annoy me. What I think it's called. Can someone message me on Discord? I thought I'd just stop recording there for a second, because my phone just vibrated. What was I going to say? What was I going to say? Oh yeah, we had to learn about like macros and that sort of thing. So I mean, it started out being like very basic sort of sum-esque things, being like sum this, do this, blah blah blah. Then it was like, you know, freeze rows and that sort of thing. Maybe there was even pivot tables in there. I honestly can't remember. But it was basically just like, you know, me being a general overachiever I am, you know, while people were just doing like the basic sums and that sort of thing, I was just like, all right, I'm going to start doing like more things, I suppose, because I'm like, I got the rest of the class to do. Like sit here and what, am I going to do nothing? I'm going to learn about other stuff. So I remember asking a teacher, being like, what else could I add to this? And she was like, maybe you could like add a button, which like increases everyone's, like it gives everyone like a Christmas bonus is what I remember. And like you learn to do macros, and then you can add other things. I don't remember the other things off the top of my head. I don't know why I'm crafting a watering can, because we've already got a golden watering can. So that one certainly does not need to be done. So I guess I'll just have a spare watering can. I'll probably just sell it, to be perfectly honest. But there you go. The final golden equipment crafted. And presumably, now we have a Nookmar mission for it. All completed. Shining Jewel. I forgot you actually got keywords of these. Top-notch luminary. I feel like it's very funny. We did one in 2020, and then all the others we did now. Glittering Emperor Empress. And Radiant Supreme Being. There you go, finally. Golden tools. We got them all. And then we will just promptly never use them. But I think I'm going to round this episode off here then. You know, I got some more things because I got another session 0 tomorrow. I got their races and classes and backgrounds to add. So they're going to have like, I need to apologise to my first group, who I guess are technically group 2, for giving them such a difficult, annoying session 0, because the other group is going to have such an easy time. They're just going to like log in and they're just going to drag and drop and be like, oh, it's all done. Anyway, I suppose therein is an amusing part of it. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this episode off here, so if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope we see each other again, but for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye-bye for now.